folks, welcome back to the Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. This video is going to be a tale of three nukes. So we have nuke number one, which is basically an old queen that's failing. We have nuke number 5, which was an old failing queen, and I saw her the last inspection on June 28th. Today's July 7th, I believe. So it's been about 8 days since I've been in there. I did see a supersedure cell in nuke number 5, and there was a larva in it. So that's a good thing. That means that old queen is going out to queen pasture, and they're making them a new queen. So that hive might grow some in the fall on the fall nectar flow, and it might make it through winter. And lastly is the new 2019's tiny swarm, and that's over here in position number 30, so we'll call that nuke 30. It is a queenless swarm. Never seen such a thing, and I'm sure there probably are queenless swarms, but to me that's just totally weird. So there's probably 150 bees in that nuke, and there's no queen in there. And they made a little supersedure cell, but there's nothing in there, no eggs or anything. So I'm not sure what that was all about. They were out here on the ground, it and another one, two kind of softball-sized swarms. One disappeared the next day, it was gone, and the number 30 was still there. And I did put queen excluders across the front of both of them, so if there was a queen in there, they couldn't have gotten out. So there was no queen in that swarm. Unless I missed her on the ground, I'm pretty sure I got every single bee. But anyway, so we're going to go through those three nukes, and on number 30, just for an experiment, I'm going to grab a brood frame with eggs and put in there with the nurse bees and see if they'll make a queen, and she might get mated this year, and that might make us an extra queen that we might need in the fall. So we're going to give that a shot. Let's get started. Okay, here we are at nuke number 1. So we'll get in here and just do a quick little inspection, hoping to see a supersedure cell in here, so they're requeening and taking care of this old queen. We have us a decent population of bees here. There's a wax moth larva I just killed. So that is a wax moth larva. You can tell the difference between that and a small hive beetle larva. It has a dark head. They're on the right hand side. I don't know how focused that is, but that's how you tell the difference. So that larva was just crawling around up here by this beetle trap. Spotty brood, and some of the larvae in there are dead. There's spotty brood on this side. I don't see any dead larvae here though. Every now and then you'll see a larva that's kind of brown and dried up. The thing about this pattern, there's no drones. They're all worker cells. So it hasn't gone laying worker. Same pattern here. And here's our queen at the bottom right, or right hand side. She looks like a good queen. She's marked red. I marked her last year, but she may have been more than a year old when I marked her. I suspect she is, and that's why she's not performing well. But most of this frame here is laid up, so May be a resource issue. I'm not seeing a lot of nectar in here. So here's good pattern from the inside out. See a lot of eggs in here. And this side's totally empty. There's a little bit of nectar around in here. So I could give them a boost, but with another frame of bees. But if they're going to supersede this queen, I want them to do it. I don't want to help them along any. So there's pollen and nectar there. And that's totally empty. So they're just limping along. If anything, we could use her as a queen for a queenless hive, laying worker hive to get them right. But at the rate they're going, that's not even going to be a viable hive next year. Okay. Let's get the beetle traps in there while I'm thinking about it. Oops. Casualty. Here's one reason I don't like these nuke lids. They fit real close to the frames, and you smash bees when you put them down. And I do not collect propolis. I leave it laying around, the bees pick it up and reuse it. So when you put these down, try not to smash bees, so don't just set it down all at once. Just kind of give it some wiggle. So if it bumps a bee, they'll move. Gets them out of the way. Okay, not much more we can do here. Just a waiting game. Let's head over to nuke number 5 and check it out. Real quick tip on the smoker. Something I picked up watching Randy on 628 Dirt Rooster. These taller smokers, they get a natural convection, the air flowing through them, and they'll burn up a lot faster. So see how that's just burning like that? So turn it on its side. He also talked about his dad likes to cover the hole down here, or you can put a plug in at the top. But so one thing you can do just to slow it down, just set it on its side. So if you haven't seen the 628 Dirt Rooster, where you been? Seriously though, cool, one of the coolest bee channels out there. Good friend of mine. We speak occasionally. Ooh, look at that big old cockroach. All right. Enough of the pleasantries and cockroach killing. So population looks a little less than number 1 over there. And this has a telescoping cover and a inner cover, so I don't have to worry about smashing bees because it sits close. Okay, right here's a little black dot. So this is where my queen cell is going to be. All right. Totally empty. We got pollen and nectar, and there's a few larvae in there, uncapped. I know for a fact this queen, I marked her last year, or 2 years ago, blue, which was the wrong color for that year. And then I marked her green this year over the blue, because the blue was so worn off you could hardly see it. There's a few larvae on here. Some young ones too. So she's still a laying. There's a few larvae here as well. And here's our queen right in the middle. She's a little thing. She's moving a little slow. She's not in any hurry. So let's check on our supersedure cell. Just looking down from the top if I could see it there. I think I just barely see the top of it. And there it is, and it's not capped. I can't believe it. What are they doing to me? There it is right there. Let me get the flashlight on that. It should have been capped by now. Move out of the way, bee. It is empty and dry. Crazy. Okay, there it is. I'm telling you, 8 days ago, it was white in there, and there was a larva. I could see it plain as day. So they've taken it out. These bees don't know what they're doing. You're supposed to be making a new queen. Well, let's look over here. I don't know why, but let's look. It's got some weight to it. So that's all nectar, a little bit of pollen. So they got resources. This frame here is half capped honey on the top. That's probably something, as I downsized them, I put in there with them. This pitiful little hive, they're not the ones that collected that. If they did, it was a long time ago when they were strong. That's just weird. Thought this was going to be a good teaching video to show a supersedure cell. I've never seen a supersedure cell that had a larva in it and then it didn't. Man, I am sweating. It's not as hot today, but there's no wind at all. Okay, well that was fruitless. So, now let's go on to the third nuke. Before I head over there, I'm going to find in one of these hives. Probably going to go to, I don't know, one of these that doesn't have a honey super on it, and see if I can find a brood frame with some eggs. And we'll take it over there to the third nuke, which is nuke number 30 is where it's at. So we'll be right back, and I'll see you at nuke number 30. Okay, here we are at the third nuke, and you can see out front, got a brood frame here, and it has eggs on it, and I looked at it real close for the queen. So all these bees on here are nurse bees. So I'll look in here real quick for a queen. Last inspection, the queen may have been on a mating flight, but I doubt it. No queen on that frame. And I'm seeing quite a few hive beetle larvas in here, or hive beetles. So we need to get us a trap in here before they take over. And no queen there. Here's the little supersedure cell I was talking about, which without a queen and no eggs, it's just a cup. Okay, so I'm going to put that frame right between these two. And a bunch of those bees came off there on the side. I'm going going to take one of these empty frames out. And I'll be right back. I'm going to go get another frame of bees and I'm going to shake in here so I get some more nurse bees. Maybe those will work their way in. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Got another brood frame. This is mostly cap brood. And I'm just going to shake these bees in there. I looked on here real close for the queen, and she's not there. So these bees that are nurse bees will stay here in this hive, and the field bees will fly out and they'll find their way back to the original hive. So the original hive is hive number 9, and if you remember one of my first videos of the 2019 season was about a hive that was near death. It was infested with maggots. There was a small little bottle of bees left, and many of the bees had died from freeze starvation. Go ahead and pull one more of these out. Just so I can have the space. So after I do this, there's going to be far more bees in here than the original queenless tiny swarm. So I'm essentially just making a split, a queenless split with eggs. Get this on here as fast as I can. There we go. Not a single bee squished that I saw anyway. Okay, while those are figuring out what's going on, I'm going to go put this back. Okay, we got them introduced. And these bees here on the front will be fanning and the rest of them will go on in. So that brood that's in there will hold those nurse bees in place. And in a couple days, there should be a queen cell pulled down off of some of those eggs. There'll probably be more than one. And they'll make a queen off of that. So it's July 7th. So that means if it's successful sometime mid-August, we should have a laying queen in here. And we'll see how that goes. So this will be, I'll start a new series. If this works out, we'll call this Tiny Swarm 2019 and see how it goes. So that's it for the video. Give me a thumbs up if you would, and be sure and subscribe to the channel so you can see the rest of the videos in this series. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.